Imagine standing in the middle of a crowded stadium. Everyone is screaming, cheering, chalking. But you are speaking a language that died 1,000 years ago. You scream until your throat bleeds. You beg for a response. But to everyone else, you are just making noise. You are invisible. You are alone in a sea of people. This is the reality for the most famous unknown creature in the world. This is the life of the 52 Hertz whale. The ocean is not a quiet place. It is a chaotic, noisy highway. It is filled with the clicks of dolphins, the grinding of tectonic plates, the hum of ship engines, and the low-frequency rumbles of the great baleen whales. Blue whales and fin whales, the giants of the deep, communicate on a very specific bandwidth. They talk in the basement of sound, usually between 10 and 20 hertz. These sounds are so deep, they are felt more than heard. They travel for thousands of miles, a global network of communication that keeps the species connected. But in 1989, the U.S. Navy found a glitch in the network. The Cold War was ending, but the SOS U.S. hydrophone arrays were still listening. They were designed to track Soviet nuclear subs, but the operators kept picking up a biological signal that didn't make sense. It had the rhythm of a whale. It had the structure of a whale song. But the pitch was wrong. It was way too high. It was singing at 52 hertz. To a blue whale, this sounds like a mosquito buzzing. To a human, it sounds like a low tuba note. But in the ocean, it was unique. It was a fingerprint that belonged to nothing else on Earth. The Navy tracked it. The scientists tracked it. Year after year, the signal appeared. It always moved alone. It migrated from the coast of California up to the Aleutian Islands in Alaska, a massive solitary loop through the North Pacific. It never swam in a pod. It never synchronized its call with another biological sound. It was calling out, over and over again, into a void that never answered back. The tragedy of this creature is simple physics. Whale songs are not just for fun. They are for survival. They are used to find mates, to locate food, to navigate. If a whale sings at 52 hertz, and the potential mates are tuned to 20 hertz, the signal doesn't just get ignored. It physically doesn't register. It is like trying to tune into a radio station that doesn't exist. This creature has likely been swimming for decades, calling out, "I am here," and receiving absolute silence in return back. So, what is it? The standard scientific theory is that this is a hybrid, a mistake of nature, maybe the offspring of a blue whale and a fin whale, a fluke that resulted in a malformed vocal tract. It is the safe answer. It suggests that the animal is just a confused individual, a genetic dead end wandering the ocean. But there is a darker, more fascinating possibility. A possibility that suggests we are looking at the ocean's history all wrong. What if the 52 hertz whale isn't a mistake? What if it is a relic? The ocean has not always been this cold. Millions of years ago, the seas were different. The acoustics were different. The dominant species were different. Paleontology tells us that whales used to be much more diverse. There were super whales and ancient cetaceans that ruled the waters before the current giants took over. What if 52 hertz was the standard frequency for a species that was supposed to have gone extinct during the last ice age? Imagine a creature that is the last of its dynasty, a Lazarus species. It was born into a world that had already moved on. Its parents died, its pod faded away, and it was left behind as the only one carrying the torch of its kind. It isn't singing a wrong note. It is singing the anthem of a lost empire. It is a living dinosaur swimming through the modern world, searching for a family that has been turned to fossilized stone for 10,000 years. The physical description of the beast remains a mystery because, in all these years, no one has ever filmed it. We have the audio, but not the video. This adds to the ghost story. But we can build a profile based on the sound. To produce a sound that loud and that deep, the body must be massive. It is likely similar in size to a blue whale, perhaps slightly more compact. 80 or 90 feet of muscle and blubber. It must be powerful. Migrating alone is exhausting. Whales and pods take turns breaking the current, drafting behind each other like cyclists. This creature breaks the water alone, every single mile, every single year. The skin is likely scarred. The North Pacific is a rough neighborhood. There are orcus killer whales that hunt in packs. A solitary giant is a target. The 52 Hertz whale has likely fought off attacks its entire life. It is a survivor. It is tough. It carries the marks of cookie-cutter sharks and the tangled scars of fishing gear. It is an old soldier fighting a war that ended ages ago. Let's visualize the environment it calls home. The water is dark, gray, and choppy. The Pacific swell is relentless. The creature surfaces to breathe. A massive plume of mist shoots into the cold air. The back rolls forward, an endless expanse of dark, mottled skin. There is no dorsal fin, or maybe just a small, jagged hump. It sinks back down. And then the song begins. The sound starts in the chest, resonating through the massive skull. Hoo-oomp, a rhythmic, rising and falling tone. It travels through the water at the speed of sound, 4 times faster than in air. The sound wave hits a pod of blue whales 50 miles away. The blue whales feel the disturbance, but they don't recognize it as language. To them, it is just background noise. It is just the ocean being weird. They continue their low-frequency gossip, ignoring the desperate shout of their cousin. The loneliness of the 52 Hertz whale has struck a chord with humans. We see ourselves in it. In a world of social media, where we are more connected than ever, yet feel more isolated than ever, this whale is the ultimate symbol. It is the patron saint of the misunderstood. Musicians have written songs about it. Poets have written verses. We project our own sadness onto a biological machine. But the whale doesn't know it is famous. It doesn't know people are making t-shirts with its frequency on them. It just knows the cold. It just knows the hunger. And it knows the silence. There is a theory that the whale might be deaf, that it cannot hear itself, so it cannot regulate its pitch. But the consistency of the call suggests otherwise. It is not random noise. It is a structured pattern. It modifies the call slightly, listening for a response, and then returning to the base frequency. It is trying different keys, trying to find a password that unlocks the door to connection. But the door remains locked. The ancient survivor theory gains traction when we look at how little we know about the deep. We find new species of beaked whales every few years. The ocean is massive. A small population of 52 Hertz whales could have survived in a remote pocket of the ocean, dwindling down one by one until only this individual was left. It is the endling, the last individual of a species. When it dies, an entire branch of the evolutionary tree snaps off and falls into the abyss, never to be seen again. Think about the sheer mental fortitude required to keep singing. Most animals stop calling if they get no response. It is a waste of energy. It attracts predators. But this whale has been calling for decades. This suggests a biological drive that is stronger than logic. It suggests hope. Or perhaps it suggests madness. Can a whale go insane from isolation? Can a brain that complex, designed for social interaction, break down when it is deprived of contact? The migration path is interesting too. It avoids the main highways. It stays on the fringes. This supports the idea that it is a different species. It uses different feeding grounds. It has a different map burned into its genetic memory. It is navigating a version of the Earth that doesn't exist anymore. It is looking for coastlines that have sunk and islands that have eroded away. Technically, the creature might not be completely alone. Dolphins and other smaller cetaceans can hear 52 hertz, but they can't speak it. Imagine living in a world where you are surrounded by dogs. You can hear them barking, they can hear you shouting, but you cannot have a conversation. You cannot bond. You are surrounded by life, but you are starved of connection. That is the specific hell of the 52 hertz whale dot in recent years. Some sensors have picked up other calls that are close to 52 hertz. Not exactly, but close. Maybe 50 hertz. Maybe a few sporadic calls. This has led to wild hope. Maybe the whale isn't the last one. Maybe there is a small, secret group of them. Or maybe the blue whales are learning. Maybe they are adjusting their pitch to try and talk back. But these signals are faint and unconfirmed. For now, the narrative remains singular. The story moves to a deep canyon in the Pacific. The water is pitch black. The 52 hertz whale is diving. It is hunting squid. It uses echolocation, a different type of sound, to see in the dark. It finds prey. It eats. The physical needs are met. The belly is full. But then, it ascends to the surface layer to rest. It floats there, a massive log in the swells. The stars come out. The universe stretches overhead, silent and vast. And the whale prepares to sing again. It takes a breath. It purges the blowhole. And it sends the signal. 52 hertz. The sound ripples out, passing through the hulls of cargo ships, bouncing off the continental shelf, traveling for miles. The sensors on the Navy floor light up. The green line spikes. The human operator sighs and logs the entry. Target 52 confirmed.